Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous session, I explained you the installation procedure as well as I told you clearly how exactly to install and to test if your Hello World program is working fine with QtSpim. It is time to understand all the options that are supported in the QtSpim tool, each and every column that is supported in the QtSpim tool right now, and we'll see that right now with ease. And this is all very interesting and very important for you to understand before you go deeper into the usage of the tool. So I'm going to use a pointer and I'll also zoom it a little bit. I'll explain you each of this option one by one. Now this is the first box that we are having there. This is the first option that we have there, which is for loading the file. If you want to load the file, click this and you can go to the path where the file is available, load it. Now if you want to reinitialize and load the file, you can click this option. This is additional. You can reinitialize and then you can load it. Now there is an option for storing the log. You can save the log, you can click this and all the logs will be recorded. And this is for print. You can have print, you can have the option of printing your file and export. It's kind of exporting your file towards PDF as well. That's also available here. And then there is an option called clear register, which is very important actually. This clears all the available registers in the left hand side. You can see that here all the available registers can be cleared in a single click out of this. You can reinitialize the entire simulation. You can, this is a simulation tool, of course. Yeah, we know that, and this is a simulation tool. You can just click this button which looks like a ladder which is connected together, and you can click that and it will reinitialize the simulation. And we will have the run, the pause and the stop button. You can see that here I've got a run simulation. Once your code is uploaded, you can run the simulation, you can pause it and stop it. All these options are available there. And if you want to debug, you can go ahead and use the step through simulation, which will help you in stepping through the execution. And do not bother about what is here, what are the contents which are available here. This is all system generated, and don't worry about it at all. And this is completely simulator generated. And this is the most important area which you need to focus on. This is called the register section, where you will get all the registers displayed, and you can see the contents of each register after the operation, and you can validate if your results are all right. That's it. This is a very simple thing, and when you start using it, you will definitely understand how exactly to use it better. Now, before we conclude the session with an example, we need to understand what are all the most commonly used assembler directives. There are many. I'm going to talk about it later in a detailed session where I'll discuss each and every point about it. But now understand that we have got three very common and most frequently used assembler directives. The first one is .txt, the second one is .data, the third one is global. And the spelling of global is global and not global. Remember it, and this is a very important point. The dot text, this indicates that the instructions are stored in the text section. Whatever instructions we are using, they are all to be stored in the text section. And the data, dot data, whenever you use this indicates that all the data will go into the data segment of the memory. And this global, whatever you mentioned here, it says that the symbol SYM is the symbol that we have used here, and that symbol is global and can be referenced from other files. These three are very important, and remember, text, data and global. These three will be part of almost every piece of code that we are writing. Now we'll go with a simple C code, and there we will add a couple of numbers and we'll get the reply. This is a simple C code that I'm taking. Include stdio.h, int main. In that I've got a, b, c as integers which are declared. C equal to a plus b is the operation, and I print C. This is very simple code. If I take 2 plus 3 for example, I should get 5 as the output. Now how do we go ahead with converting it as an equivalent MIPS code? The first one in the code is .txt, text. This is the text section. .global main. Now this main can be called from anywhere. This is what you need to understand. This main is global. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign two values to two different registers. I have got T0 as one of the registers, T1 as another register, and see that T0 and T1 are used because they are called as a temporary registers, and they should be called as temporary registers, and they can be used for all temporary operations. Now when I do a ORI, which is nothing but R immediate of the 0x03, this is one value with $0. What is it? The value. When I do that, I'll get the content 0x03 moved here. Similarly, I get the content 0x02 moved here. Now I add T0 and T1 and move the result to T2. That's it. This is what is the single line that we are talking about, and the single line has been equivalently converted here. and int ABC is all used here properly as T0, T1 and T2, and the result is moved to T2. Now can we see if it is running fine when we do it as a real-time demo? I'm going to show that right now to you. We'll see how exactly it works. This is the code that we have typed. Text section, as I told you, the global section is available, and then I used a ORI to simply get the value loaded onto the registers T0 and T1 appropriately, and once it is done, I store the file as one underscore code underscore add.asm. Remember, .asm is very important because that is the extension that tells that you are writing an assembly language program. And this is very important, and once it is done, we can use our Qt-Spim tool. I'm opening it right now. I go to I refresh it. First of all, we need to refresh our previous content. I open this, I load this, that's all loaded. Now when I run it, it gives me some alert. Let's ignore it. R8 T0 has got 3, T1 has got 2, and T2 has got 5. Let's verify if that is what we had in the code. You can see that here T0 has got 3, T1 has got 2, and T2 has got 5, which is nothing but the result that we are bothered about. You can see that here T2 has got the result. So 3 plus 2 is nothing but 5. That's what we are looking at, and this is how we can write a very simple MIPS code for an equivalent C code, and this is very easy. Believe me, try it out. You'll definitely like it. Thank you very much for following the channel, the content. If you have any queries, suggestions, please go ahead and type it in the comment section. I'll be able to answer them. Thank you.